As the world marks Autism Awareness Day, First Lady Oluremi Tinubu has celebrated the unique strength and creativity of individuals with the Autism Spectrum Disorder. Senator Oluremi Tinubu acknowledged that the journey for families with loved ones who are autistic can be challenging. She also recognized the crucial role of community organizations in providing support, resources, and opportunities for individuals with autism and their families. The First Lady is advocating early diagnosis and intervention to ensure individuals with autism reach their full potential. She also wants parents and caregivers to be attentive to developmental milestones and seek professional help if any concerns arise. For more on the Autism Awareness Day, the Director, Ike Foundation for Autism, Francis Mohi, joins me on the news at 7. Thank you for joining us at this time. Tell us, how is autism diagnosed and what are the symptoms to look out for?
Okay, thank you very much. And thank you for this opportunity. Let me quickly say thank you to the First Lady for her level of commitment. And for us, it adds a lot of value for a mother such as she is to say she's celebrating the World Autism Day. Having said so, talking about assessment and diagnosis, how it could be detected. Just like the First Lady said, when a child is born, there are expected milestones that you will expect a child to meet. And if that child is not meeting those milestones, then it calls for attention. But it's not just enough to say the child is not meeting those milestones. When it comes to autism spectrum disorder, those delays might also be accompanied with some behavioral presentations like repetitive movement, some bizarre behaviors. The child is not speaking at some point. You just know that there are delays. So these are, more of red flags. And it's very important that when that happens, mothers, who I would say are the first assessment tools, should begin to ask questions, and get the right answers.
Let's talk about interventions that are available for families with children living with autism. What are these interventions and how accessible are they?
Thank you very much. Talking about interventions, there are very strong and very effective interventional strategies that have been used over time to, enhance behaviors, build certain skills, talking about basic language, learning and other functional skills, to get a child to be ready for mainstreaming or for integration. And one of those strategies is what we call the ABA. ABA is an acronym that represents Applied Behavior Analysis. It's actually a branch of science that is dedicated to the understanding and improvement of behavior. And of course, there are several other interventional strategies that we also use. And basically, for success stories, to achieve success, it will depend on 4 or 5 things. 1, the level of severity. 2, the right approaches of intervention. 3, early intervention. 4, the right time intensity. And of course, the level of commitment and dedication to what we are doing. And if this is in place, or these things are in place, it's just a question of time. Children who are on the spectrum can thrive. Thankfully, this year's theme from the United Nations simply states, moving from surviving to thriving. So we've been dealing with autism. Now it is time to create the enabling environment for them to, thrive and even thrive better. And this ranges from the immediate family to the next space, talking about society, and of course, the general public. Ranges from churches to mosques to the market and all of that, to schools, to the hospitals. So that if we have this very wonderful environment, inclusive in nature, then our children with autism can thrive and thrive very well.
Thriving is actually very critical, especially considering some myths that the society might have about persons who are living with autism. So talk to us more about how we can inspire inclusion for persons who are living with autism.
Fantastic. First of all, let me speak quickly to the enabling laws that are existing. Recently, we had an engagement with the House Committee on Disability and Inclusion. And it was very evident that there are provisions that protect and provide for children with special needs and also children with autism. Quite unfortunately, not so many people out there are privy to those provisions. That's number one. Number two, it was also very evident that people don't have the required knowledge. So let's even go back to awareness. Again, I say thank you to TVC for this opportunity to create a little of awareness, in that aspect. So talking about inclusion, it is very important that we understand that this condition have been misconstrued over time. So there's stigmatization, there's prejudices, there's neglect and all of that. And like I said earlier, mothers suffer the brunt of this whole problem. So inclusion is something that we cannot overemphasize. We will need to preach it every day across spheres of life, from the immediate family to schools, to churches, to mosques, to the public spaces, such that if we don't lay emphasis on inclusion, there will be a lot of stereotypes, and that is not good at all. We will need to accept families, accept children living with this condition, because they have a lot that can offer. In fact, I have said in different platforms that if the ratio of children living with autism is neglected, then the society is not complete. And that is because they have a lot of strength, and if these strengths are annexed, I bet you there are things that even their neurotypical counterparts finds it challenging to do, but they can do it because of their uniqueness. So it's important that we promote awareness that will focus on acceptance, focus on inclusivity across board. So that's very key.
All right, so there is ability in every form of disability. Director, Ike Foundation for Autism, Frances Mohie, thank you very much for talking to us on TVC News at 7.
It's always a pleasure. Once again, thank you to the First Lady for celebrating the Autism World Day with us. Thank you so much, man. God bless you.